Hey everybody, Hernan Vazquez here, and for the past 7 years I've been dedicated to helping business owners and entrepreneurs getting more sales and leads through the use of paid media online like Facebook ads, for example, and email marketing and sales funnels. And a lot of business owners come to me because they're kind of pivoting. They're switching from growing their business to actually wanting to scale it. What I mean is that they've been focused on developing a great product or a great service that people want, and they have found it, they have developed it, and things are great. They're moving forward, but now they're kind of pivoting, right? There's a different skill set that you need to have from selling your product or creating a good product to scaling your company. There's two different skill sets. So a lot of business owners come to me because they have achieved phase one, as I like to call it, phase one, which is developing a product or service that people want to buy, right? And they have, maybe $200,000, $300,000, $500,000 worth of sales per year, and that's awesome. And they reach that point, and that's great. But now they're feeling a little bit stagnated, right? Because the reality is that they've been doing everything themselves, and now they're feeling, kind of overwhelmed on how to scale and whatnot. And then some other business owners that come to me, they're just scared or worried. It has been working for them to get them to this stage will not help them to get them to the next stage. So one of the things that I always do when they come and join a really small coaching program that I have is to develop for them a 90-day plan. And on this 90-day growth plan, that's the name of the plan, on this 90-day plan, we ask them a bunch of questions. Like, for example, how much revenue are generated? What are your best campaigns? What does your team look like? Do you have a list? How are you following up with this list and whatnot? So we make a really in-depth analysis of their stats, of their business, what's going on with their business and whatnot. And then we find a couple of nuggets, like, for example, campaigns that worked really, really well in the past, but they have been shut off, not because, they wanted to shut off, but maybe because of overwhelm, right? Or maybe because of fulfilling. Maybe they didn't even know that those campaigns worked that well. So we go all through that. We make that process, and we deliver a lot of value, to each coaching and consulting member of that little small group. And the reality is that we found that a lot of members, again, they have proven products or services. In fact, it's kind of a condition that you need to have significant momentum to actually join that group, right? And we found that, and we also found that they have some issues, when it comes to scaling. So what we help them do at that point is to actually develop the processes that would allow them to scale. So for example, I was talking to one of the members of this group, and he has a really cool product. He's a digital marketer that's selling info products and whatnot. He has the bandwidth to actually scale, but he just didn't have the time, right? And he was kind of doing everything himself. He's really good with Facebook ads. He came to us because he was getting most of his sales through Facebook ads, and he was really good with it, but he didn't have a process. He didn't have a process to actually, for example, test creatives over and over again, test images, ads, different headlines, different copy and whatnot. So we helped them creating that. And also, he didn't have a process to actually know which campaigns were working. So we helped them creating those processes, not only because he wanted to scale. He was like at $3,000 per month, and he wanted to spend $200,000 per month. He's well on his way to do that. We were helping him doing that, but also because he wanted to hire somebody. And the reality is that it's really, really hard to hire somebody and to, outsource a key task like Facebook ads, for example, to somebody if you don't have the processes as how you would like them first. So that's number one. Step number one is to actually take yourself out of the equation for a minute, if possible, and go ahead and develop those processes. It's really tedious, it's really hard work, but it's a hard work that will pay you for years to come. And for most of these business owners, step number two is to actually unplug for a little bit of their businesses. That's why, this really small coaching group, what I do is to meet with them twice a year, right, in the US. So I help them actually focus, and I give them the proven strategies that have been working for me over the past 7 years to scale several 7-figure companies and advise with 9-figure companies. Because the reality is that it's really hard to keep your business afloat if you're, overrun with water. So if you're drowning, it's really, really hard to keep your business afloat. So think about that if you are on this situation right now. If you're in this situation right now when you have a proven product, you have a proven service, you have proved that the marketplace wants what you had to offer, think about ways of developing processes for all of the stuff that you are doing that you shouldn't be doing, because you should be focusing on growing your team, your operations and whatnot. And then think about ways how you can unplug, whether it is like, switching off the computer like 30 minutes per day, and actually writing down the tasks that you're doing, actually projecting for the next 5 to 10 years, and that type of stuff, and actually going to events. Events usually help because they help you unplug from the daily grind, and they will give you perspective on how to grow your business moving forward. So I hope this helps. If you want to know more about these little, small, really exclusive private consulting groups, just type consulting on the comments below and I'll send more information via Messenger. In any case, I hope that you enjoyed this content. If you do, feel free to share with somebody that needs to see this, and I'll see you really soon. Bye-bye.